Hello and welcome to the Cypress New Business tutorial. Today we will be reviewing the quick and easy application process in Agency Link, where you can quote and bind a policy in less than 5 minutes. To access the site, navigate to www.cypressig.com and select the agent portal at the top of the page. Once you make your selection, you will land at the Agency Link login screen. Here you will log in with the credentials that were recently provided to your agency principal. From the home screen on the left-hand side, you will see icons that may be used to complete various functions within the system. In the Get a Quick Quote menu, you may select the product you'd like to begin a quote: homeowners, condo, dwelling fire, or renters. You have the option of changing the links to icons to show the full label. Below this section are search tools to view existing quotes, manuals and QRCs, in-force policy, as well as billing information. Now we are ready to begin a homeowner's quick quote. Once we selected the homeowner's icon, the quote tab will appear and all required fields marked by an asterisk and are highlighted yellow. One of the things that makes Cypress Florida Evergreen products so unique is that we use insurance scoring to determine the premium. In order to obtain the correct insurance score, take care to accurately enter the named insured information. For example, use Michael instead of Mike. A helpful tip to attain the best premium when you have two insureds is to run your quote for one person and try switching the first named insured and date of birth in the same quote to decide who has the best rate. The name can be switched 3 times in one quote. After entering the location address, you must validate it by selecting the Validate Address button. This will show you the standardized address per the U.S. Postal Service and will input any available property details found on the current county records. Next, enter the prior address information if the insured has not lived at the residence for 3 or more years. For secondary seasonal homes, at times, agents have found better insurance scores by using the insured's primary address in this section. Please note that the effective date will always default to the current date. If the purchase date entered is older than 3 years, the previous address section will be locked down. Notice that many of the rating fields have been pre-filled when the address was validated. Enter the remaining property characteristics such as construction, occupancy, roof year, and roof type. Getting the accurate year of roof replacement is very important in deriving the best rate with newer roofs providing excellent discounts. Please be sure to confirm the square footage and number of stories, as those are both elements used in rating. If the risk qualifies for any wind mitigation credits, enter all applicable fields. If the home was built 2002 or later, the FBC roof cover credit will be automatically applied. Some credits can be given without a wind mitigation inspection, such as the FBC credit if a final permit is available, or the HIP roof credit after visually verifying. Agency Link is programmed to automatically provide some credits, such as opening protection when the home is in the wind-borne debris region. The coverage section allows you to adjust different coverages amounts and select any additional coverages your client may require. Contents can be adjusted as low as 25% of coverage A, and they can still purchase personal property replacement cost. If the home qualifies for any discounts, they can be added in the section below. Any optional coverages can be selected below. Selections can be made by double-clicking on the item. You have the option to run the replacement cost estimate at this time, but it's not mandatory until the application phase. Be sure to enter any paid losses in the past 3 years. Additional information will be required to be entered in the application. You have the option of selecting the Schedule tab for any scheduled personal property, or simply click the Quote button to rate. On the final tab, you will click the Rate button, which will present the quote summary, and the insurance score will be retrieved at this time. If the credit bureau was not able to find a record matching the applicant, a message will appear at the top of the screen indicating that it was a no hit. This means that the premium will be based on a neutral factor. If you have additional clarifying information to enter, such as a previous address, you can navigate back to the Quick Quote tab to update it. You will have the option to print the quote or accept the quick quote. to begin the application process. For this tutorial, we have prepared an application and will show you the few additional pages that must be completed. Once in the application, you will go through each page and complete any required fields. Be sure to answer all pre-qualification questions as these will determine eligibility with Cypress. We've made this simple for you to select the checkbox to answer all questions as no, once you've confirmed that the risk meets our eligibility guidelines. All previous tabs are still populated from the quick quote, but if any information needs to be changed, you can do so at this time and the quote will re-rate. Additional property information will be completed on the General tab. At this phase, we will complete the replacement cost estimate and launch the MSB website in a new window. You can update any values before you finish and save. The replacement cost amount is now populated in the replacement cost field. If you've entered any paid losses during the quote portion, the History tab will be where you input information regarding the loss. The Interest tab is where you will add a mortgage company or any additional insured, such as a trust or LLC. To add a mortgage, select the interest type mortgagee and then click on the Additional Interest Lookup. Enter the bank name and select the appropriate one from the list. If it's not there, you can type in the fields below. On the statement page, you'll notice that you can select the checkbox to answer all questions no, like on the pre-qualification page. The last two questions must be yes, as they are to confirm that you've explained Cypress's liability exclusion to the applicant. Select the Quote tab to rate the application. Note that if there are any edits that need to be addressed, you will be alerted with a Smart Edit message advising what needs to be corrected. To correct, click on the message and it will return you to the tab where the error occurred. Here you can make the selection to bind and print your application. You will either receive a message stating that your application has been bound successfully, or if your application requires underwriting approval, you will be shown the referral page and the reason for the referral. To aid in the underwriting review process, enter any remarks that may be helpful to the underwriter. Not every application requires underwriting review, but we're showing the steps for this tutorial. To access the Message Center for submission, simply use the existing quote search and enter your applicant name or quote number. The envelope on the left will show all correspondence between your agency and the underwriter. Once the application is in accepted status, you may continue to bind the policy. Simply click Rate and then Bind to complete the policy. This concludes the tutorial on how to quote and bind a Cypress new business application. Thank you for your time and we wish you successful selling.